Justice Jackson?
So I guess I really don't understand why the agencies aren't answering to Congress. Congress established them and can eliminate them. Congress funds them and can stop. So to the extent that we're concerned that there's some sort of entity that is out of control and has no control, I guess I don't understand that argument.
We would say the constitutional actor on the hypothetical who is controlling these agencies is Congress, and that is a huge separation of powers problem.
No, I understand. I'm just talking about as a practical matter. Part of your argument seemed to revolve around this notion that there's some kind of thing happening with the independent agency, that the reason why the president needs to control it is because they don't answer to anybody. And what I guess I don't understand is why they don't answer to Congress, which establishes the law that they are bound to follow and determines whether these agencies exist, funds these agencies, all of those things, it would seem to me, would be methods or mechanisms of control.
The Constitution requires clear lines of political accountability. So if Congress is sort of informally actually controlling these agencies through like oversight
Not
hearings.
informally, we have a statute, but let me ask you another question. I guess I have a very different view of the dangers and real world consequences of your position than what you explored with Justice Kavanaugh. My understanding was that independent agencies exist because Congress has decided that some issues, some matters, some areas should be handled in this way by nonpartisan experts. That Congress is saying that expertise matters with respect to aspects of the economy and transportation and the various independent agencies that we have. So having a president come in and fire all the scientists and the doctors and the economists and the PhDs and replacing them with loyalists and people who don't know anything is actually not in the best interest of the citizens of the United States. This is what I think Congress's policy decision is when it says that these certain agencies we're not going to make directly accountable to the president. So I think there's a pretty significant danger that Congress has actually identified and cares about when it determines that these issues should not be in presidential control. So can you speak to me about the danger of allowing in these various areas the president to actually control the Transportation Board and potentially the Federal Reserve and all these other independent agencies?
I think the court said it well in Free Enterprise Fund when it said that we can have a government that functions without rule by functionaries. We can have a government that benefits from expertise without being ruled by experts.
No, we can have, but I'm asking you about Congress's choice, Congress's decision that in these particular areas we would like to have independence. We don't want the president controlling. I guess what I don't understand from your overarching argument is why that determination of Congress, which makes perfect sense given its duty to protect the people of the United States, why that is subjugated to a concern about the president not being able to control everything. I mean, I appreciate there's a conflict between the two, but one would think under our constitutional design, given the history of the monarchy and the concerns that the framers had about a president controlling everything, that in the clash between those two, Congress's view that we should be able to have independence with respect to certain issues should take precedence.
The constitutional design sets up 3 branches of government. It forbids Congress from controlling what the executive branch does, and it also forbids Congress from shaving away the president's control.
And what I'm positing is that Congress's decision here is not shaving away the president's control. You cast it as that, and I appreciate that, but instead, what Congress is doing is saying we'd like to have independence, nonpartisan experts working on certain issues for the good of the American people. And I understand that the president would rather control them, but it's not really his decision in the overall scheme of things, I say. Why am I wrong about that?
Under the constitutional design,
it is the president's decision as to how the government is structured and who should be doing what.
No, that is largely Congress's decision with certain exceptions. Congress cannot violate the separation of powers and threaten all of our liberties in the way that it structures the government, and it has done so here.
One last question. I appreciate the effort to try to make this not seem as big a deal as it might be by focusing only on the FTC and saying this is really just about what happens and we'll cross the bridge of the other agencies when we get to it. But can you just give us a sense, because I'm sure you must know this, of what other agencies there are that have the kind of removal protections that are at issue here? There's some, what, 24?
That's what Seal Law said. That's probably a good accounting. And obviously, we have challenged 4 of them in this court, and we're challenging a handful of others.
But
in other courts as well.
you could challenge the National Labor Relations Board, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, the Commission on Civil Rights, potentially the Sentencing Commission, the Occupational Safety and Health Review Commission, the Consumer Product Safety Commission. All of these have that kind of structure.
I don't know if all of those are on the list. Certainly some of them are. And some of them, and many of these agencies we are litigating, including in this court.
Thank you.
Thank you, counsel.